Hi, my name is Brooke Blythe, and I'm going to teach you how to make the perfect macaron. A little bit of history about the macaron. The macaron is the English version of the macaroon. They are different. The macaron is the fun, light-colored, very colorful pastry with buttercream in the middle, almost like a little sandwich. And the macaroon is from France, and that is made from coconut. It's more of a little dollop, and it's crispier on the outside, and it is not a sandwich like the macaron is. So, in order to make your macarons, the shells for them, you're going to need a few ingredients. You're going to need a cup of almond flour, 2 cups of powdered sugar, 3 egg whites, 1/4 a cup of granulated white sugar, and 3/4 a teaspoon of fine sea salt. You're going to take your almond flour and your powdered sugar, and you're going to blend that together in a Ninja or a food processor in order to make the sugar and the almond flour mix better, and to make it a smoother consistency, because almond flour tends to be pretty thick and a little bit chunky. And so once that is blended together, you're going to pour it through a sieve and you're going to sift it into a bowl. And once you've done that, you're going to set that bowl aside and grab your wet ingredients. You're going to take those 3 egg whites and you're going to mix them in a bowl with a mixer until they are nice and frothy. You should be able to pull your beaters out of it, and they make little tips that stand up, and that's when you know it's ready. You're going to slowly mix in your white granulated sugar to that mixture, and you're going to continuously beat it until it is super frothy, and you should be able to pull your beaters up, and it should be a big peak that is in the mixture. I learned from someone that you should be able to hold the bowl above your head, and if it doesn't fall on you, that's when your eggs are frothy enough and it's mixed. That is when you add your food coloring. You're supposed to use gel food coloring, because if you use normal food coloring, it tends to, when it's baked, it will be lighter and not the same color you're desiring. And so I used orange gel food coloring, and I've used purple gel food coloring, and they both turned out really nicely. So once your food coloring is all in that mixture, you're going to pour your dry mixture into that wet mixture, and you're going to fold it with a spatula. You don't want to mix it because that will make the eggs less frothy, and you need the frothiness to make the light and fluffy macaroon. You don't want it to be thick and dense. Once that is folded in nicely, there's no bumps, no air bubbles, you're going to put that into a piping container or into a plastic bag and cut the tip off of it and pipe them into nice small circles, and they should be evenly spaced on your parchment paper. You want to take a baking sheet and line it with parchment paper and put the macarons on that. Once you have done that, you need to let it sit for 30 minutes to about an hour. So when you should touch them, there should be no moisture or goo left behind. They need to be a nice smooth surface. That allows your macarons to have that nice crunch to them on the top, that thin little layer. That is a very important step. If you skip that step, they will not turn out correctly. So you need to let them sit for half an hour to an hour. Once those have done that, you can preheat your oven to 285 degrees Fahrenheit. And you're going to cook those macarons for about 17 to 19 minutes. You don't want to burn them, but you don't want them to be so soggy that they stick to your paper. So you need to wait for your macarons to cool once you've taken them out before transferring them to a cooling rack. If you try and take them out too early, it won't work out well, and they will become stuck to your parchment paper, and they will stay there, and you will have macarons with just a shell and no filling, which are not very satisfying. So, after you're letting those cool, you can start on your buttercream filling for the macarons. For that, you will need 1/4 a cup of unsalted butter. It needs to be softened and not melted. You need 3/4 a cup of powdered sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of rose water, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1/2 teaspoon of whole milk, and a small pinch of salt. You're able to use different flavorings than rose extract. I used hibiscus for my orange ones, and I used lavender for my purple ones. And so once you mix all those ingredients, they should just be all mixed into one single bowl. You are able to mix it until it turns into the buttercream consistency, which is a nice thick frosting. And when your macarons are perfectly cooled, you can put the buttercream frosting into them, smash it together to make that nice little sandwich with the 3 different layers. A tip, if your buttercream is a little too yellow, you can add a tiny bit of purple frosting to counteract it, and it will turn into that nice smooth white you're looking for. Those are the steps to make the perfect macaron. It is a hard process and it takes a lot of practice, so don't beat yourself up if you don't get it perfectly right the first time. But following the steps can ensure that you have nice, even macarons with no cracked shells. Be patient, and that's how you make the perfect macaron. Thanks for watching!